Reyna Dunlap was on her way to a baddies audition and was found deceased.
Reyna, the Twitter influencer, whose body was found in an abandoned house.
The worst is just not knowing.
Wanted to be on this show. She knew some of the cast members of Baddies. She had met Natalie Nunn before. She had Tzatziki on her lives that she used to either host on Twitter or Instagram. She knew Scarface.
We're getting very close, and there's going to be some arrests within that organization, period, point blank.
Please, if you have any information at all, please contact me.
A young woman travels to Cleveland hoping for a shot of fame on one of the biggest reality shows in the game. Months later, she's gone. And now the internet is buzzing with one question. Did Natalie Nunn and Lemmy have anything to do with the murder? Now the theories are wild. The connection seems very suspicious and the timing almost too crazy to ignore. But is there any truth to this? Or is it just another internet-fueled conspiracy? Let's break down the full timeline, the facts versus the fiction, and why so many people are pointing their fingers at the Zeus network's biggest names. And by the way, what Aaron said was completely wrong. If you watch this video, you're going to see why.
30-year-old Karen Dunlap, who also went by Reyna.
From my understanding, she went viral on Worldstar Hip Hop for basically embarrassing a guy who couldn't give her a good satisfaction.
Okay, you're talking about IHOP, and I just got shitty ass cut. I am the baddest, and you mother know it. I'm a little hoe.
I'm pressure. Any girls who don't like me are not pressure.
A handle that seemed to embody both strength and defiance. To some, she was an enigma. Someone who had faced controversy in her youth, but was carving out her own place in this world, speaking out and building a present. Her posts always been a mix of humor, opinion, and personal stories.
It seemed like a lot of people did not like her, and a lot of people loved her and found her so entertaining.
As soon as you have me on your arm, the attention is completely away from you.
And a lot of people believe that she was a colorist due to the colorist comments that she made on her social media.
Black men. Black men. Oh, wait, let me specify even more. Brown skin and dark skin men, cause y'all pull a little bad light skin who y'all gonna make real pretty kids with, and then you treat her like shit. Are you serious? You could have had a little dirty dark ass bitch for all that. Do all that. Like, have her. Like, let that be your thing. I'm so sick of black niggas pulling Knicks bitches and treating them like they didn't win the lottery. Like, bitch, are you serious? Are you serious? I could have been a white guy right now, but I'm with your black ass, your little struggling black ass, your little disenfranchised black ass, your little where's my stimulus check black ass.
You know, she was controversial. She was, very opinionated. She liked to be confrontational with people. That was what she was. You know, she thought of herself as kind of a shock jock, but she was the persona that she put on social media was not the real Reyna.
Yeah, Reyna on her Twitter and on her platforms was I guess what we call a character that she put on was not the same Reyna that we knew in person and that those that were close to her friends, her family knew.
She had her family blocked on her Instagram and Twitter. Either maybe she didn't want her family to see what she was posting, or she knew that her family would disapprove what she was saying.
Reyna was a popular influencer with more than 81,000 followers. At 30 years old, Reyna had been living in College Park, Maryland, but her mother Karen said she hadn't seen or heard from her since November 4th. Reyna's mother said that on November 4th, she got a call that Reyna was having a mental health crisis and was at the hospital. And from that day forth, she never heard from Reyna again.
With Reyna, she was always in and out, so it wasn't like we talked to her all the time. We just always expected she was going to be okay.
It was late November when her feed went dark. Her followers, thousands strong, waited to hear her next tweet, but it never came. The posts that followed were strange, off. Some even said it felt like someone else was behind the keyboard, speaking in riddles, dropping cryptic hints that didn't sound like Karen at all.
With strange tweets like, "I'm someone else's B now." And someone reported that Reyna began replying to their stories with strange pictures and captions like, "Here I am right now."
And guys, there was a lot of eerie, scary things that she posted on her Twitter. Things like, "You were going to kill me. My God has planned to kill you. Do you know the difference? So many routes I can take. Perhaps your vision, your hearing, your mind. Let me know. I can absolutely summon the correct way, but it's no point. Everything is turning on its own. I forgot what it's called when someone can speak to the dead. That's fine and all, but what the hell am I supposed to do with Hitler? Lol. Ah, the Alea thing. Again, lol. Yep, nuclear power is a snap." The last post that she made was on January. She posted, "You know death as it applies to you. Have you ever personally seen an entire civilization wiped out? Everything that has tried me is dead or in the process of dying. What you don't get about a second Jesus announcement, lol. No, I don't think she's prepared to die." There were also people that claimed that she has tweeted like other scary stuff. And honestly, looking at this, it really seemed like that she had mental issues. It makes me think of some of the crazy stuff that Diamond Flawless will post, and we know that she goes through episodes. Or the video I made on Zaylee, the woman that went missing in Mexico. A lot of these people will post weird things, and some of them will have, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not diagnosing her, but looking at this, that's what it's screaming. But what do you think?
Reyna's mother really began to worry when she stopped posting to social media on January 1st.
Was found dead with none of her belongings and in an abandoned building in Cleveland, Ohio, January 18th.
The next time she got word about her daughter, the police were informing her that Reyna's body had been found at this abandoned house on Francis Street in Cleveland.
It's horrible. I feel like somebody kicked a hole through my soul, and the biggest part of my heart is gone.
Karen Jones fights back tears as she talks about her daughters.
She is my firstborn. You know, I loved her dearly, and it's just, the pain is unimaginable. The worst is just not knowing.
I can't really even function that well knowing that I don't know how my own big sister died.
Her family says they don't know why she was in Cleveland. They wonder if she may have gone to audition for Baddies Midwest, a reality show she was a fan of, but they don't know.
My daughter was found in an abandoned home deceased. She didn't do D. She's from MD. I have no info on where she stayed in November, December, or why she was in Cleveland. Her phone, everything is missing. Her body was left alone, no phone. Hashtag help please. Now, when this broke out on the news, there was an article saying that she'd passed from an overdose. This was cleared up by the mother, but also the evidence that she provided, which we will get into later. But this is what the mother had to say.
We want to start by saying that we have spoken with the detectives that are in charge of looking into this, and they have been absolutely wonderful. But we did want to address a news article that came out about an allegation of an initial assessment of an overdose. We asked all the right questions. We talked to the medical examiner. The medical examiner, we asked, was there evidence of any tracks on her body? No. Was there any evidence of that was on her or near her body of drug or drug use? No. I was very clear in my posts that she had no history of drug use, and that can be substantiated, and we're not going to explain here how, but that can be substantiated prior to her unalive and this autopsy. We are going to be having a private autopsy performed if we can gather enough funds to be able to do that. And as a family, I believe that we are going to be able to do that. That's our goal, to have a private autopsy performed as well. What we do want to explain is that we were told, because we asked the questions, why would there be an initial assessment of overdose? The response was where she was found. She was found in an abandoned home that had been trashed all over the place, that was years old, and their drug paraphernalia in the trashed areas. Not on her, not near her, not under her, not on top of her, not in her hands. She had none of that. The ME said that because of where she was found, and that is all, they made the initial assessment, as they do in every case of a unidentified body being found in an abandoned home, of overdose. But that does not negate that she could have been dropped there. She could have been left there. There's no assessment or indication that she took herself there, that she was doing anything there, or even that she was alive when she was entered into that home. So we just want that to be very clear, that when you're reading these news reports, that we were told initial assessments such as that are based on the environmental conditions around the body that may have nothing to do with the body, to wait for the final reports, toxicology, autopsy, examination of the internal organs.
She also posted, we got a lot of information that she may have been beat up, assaulted around early December 2024. She went to the hospital in Cleveland for an asthma inflammation and was discharged on the 12th of the 3rd. She posted about someone trying to traffic her, but she got away. Update 2. When she was found, she was in clothing that we just recovered today. Her sweatshirt had blood on the neck area, sleeves, and torso. Her undershirt had a concentrated pool of blood on the lower left side. Her pants reek of urine. Now I'm going to show you guys the evidence that she provided on social media. So just so you know, this may be a little bit graphic. So here is the sweatshirt that she had on top of another shirt. The other shirt was a Calvin shirt, and down below there's a lot of blood there. And then the sweatpants. Now the mother mentioned that the sweater had no blood on the inside.
There's no blood on the interior of the sweatshirt. I didn't take a picture of that, but there isn't any. And there's none on the pants. So, but it's significant enough to be on that t-shirt.
Which makes me think that after a while, when the blood would have dried up, then they would have put the sweater on top of her. At the home where she was found, we found her personal items with her name placed in the garage. In the bag left there, there was paperwork from her visiting a R-word crisis center on the 11th, 29th. And from the street card, no phone. How was she posting? We got a lot of information that she may have been beat up, assaulted around early December 2024. She went to the hospital in Cleveland for an asthma inflammation and was discharged on the 12th of the 3rd. She posted about someone trying to traffic her, but she got away. We have strong belief and preliminary evidence that she was brought to that house already deceased. Somebody saw something. When found, she had no track marks, no residue, and no visible history of D-use was found on her body. We are in close contact with the ME and the police and will find the truth.
It did look like she had bruising to her right eye. And was it her right eye?
Right.
Yeah, so this part of her face had a lot of bruising. So we can't really, I mean, we can't really say what caused that, but it's just, that's suspicious. It's just everything surrounding her death is suspicious.
And we do know for a fact that on November 29th, she visited a rape crisis center.
Yes.
wood and trash and all kinds of stuff, and not to have any injuries to her foot.
Yeah, she had no foot injuries at all.
And the family have came to the conclusion that she was there because she wanted to be on Baddies. They never said that she went there to audition like other people are saying on the internet, because the auditions were around July in Detroit.
This is why she was in Cleveland. Baddies Midwest was filming in Cleveland. They were going to clubs that were very close to the locations where she was purchasing stuff. She wanted to be on this show. She knew some of the cast members of Baddies. She had met Natalie Nunn before. She had Tzatziki on her lives that she used to either host on Twitter or Instagram. She knew Scarface. She knew a lot of people, and she was following where the baddies were because she wanted to try to get on this show. I, in my heart, know that somebody was with her when she died and somebody left her. I know that.
Not only that, she loved the show, she wanted to be on the show, and she even auditioned in the past, according to the mother. One of the alleged Baddies pages were actually following her. There's been debate that it was a fan page, but others are saying that it was actually a Baddies official page.
The only thing that I do know is that they were following her in 2024 on their Twitter page. So I think every season they change the name of their Twitter page from Baddies East, the Baddies Caribbean, Baddies Midwest. In early 2024, the Baddies East page, which is currently suspended, they're working off of a different account now. It had maybe about over 400,000 followers on Twitter, was following her. And she sent me a screenshot of that. I do have that posted on my TikTok.
Judging by the link badderuk.com, I believe it is that show that actually owned this page, and they purposely made it Baddies East to draw attention to their show. I think that's why it was suspended, because if it was an official Baddies Zeus Twitter, why are they going to put a link of the baddersuk.com? They're obviously going to put Zeus, not the Baddies UK. So I don't think this was an official Baddies page. I think this was just a smart idea to gather attention to their show in the UK. So they came to the conclusion that she was there to try to get on Baddies, or just go there to see them at the clubs that they were hosting at. Now, if you keep watching, I'm going to line up the dates of when she was there and when the Baddies were there in Cleveland. Also, someone else that is fueling the idea that somehow Baddies could be involved is a TikToker by the name of Prophet P.I.
Identified, but she was in this abandoned house not too far from where they were filming at. And this is one of the places they were filming at right here. There's another place also, but they were filming at this one right here. And there are a lot of cameras in this area. Now, like I said, there's a lot of things that are coming out, especially regarding one of the CEOs of Zeus Network, and they call him Lemmy. This guy right here. His actual name is Lemuel Olin Plummer, but they call him Lemmy. And there's a lot of things that are coming out, being spoken by former participants on this show, people who are familiar with this show. There's a lot of victims. Just hear me when I say there's a lot of victims, and this is very serious. People don't need to sweep this up under the rug. We're getting close to getting answers to what happened to Reyna. We're getting very close. And like I said, there are people who want to remain anonymous, but we're getting very close. And there's going to be some arrests within that organization, period. Because what happened to her is tied to a whole bunch of other things that have been happening throughout, the past 2 years with this organization, Zeus Network and Baddies.
So this man strongly implies that Zeus Network is involved without providing any proper evidence. Also mentioning other things that have happened in the past 2 years, then mentions trafficking, and then mentions anonymous sources that he has, basically implying that these sources are giving him this information. Now, they know she was there around November, right? But the Baddies were there in October. As you can see on this post, they were in Cleveland on the 4th October. And then they went to Chicago on the 10th of October. Oh, and also on the 9th of October, they were also in Chicago.
They were in another city on the 11th. They were then in St. Louis on the 17th of October. And then after that, they end up going to Honolulu 23rd. Afterwards, I'm assuming they would have gone home.
Saying that, I completely understand why the sister and the mother would think maybe they might hold some answers. Keep in mind, they are not making any accusations towards Zeus or anything in Zeus. They're just pointing things out of what their daughter had told them. Tzatziki going onto her Twitter live streams and friends with E.T. Now, I did speak to the sister to clarify particular things, how close she was with E.T. She says, I'm not sure. I just know she said that E.T. was one of her social media friends. I just feel the family want to see if they know her or maybe seen her when they were in Cleveland. That's all they after.
Right. Or if they were in the Cleveland area, if they had pictures. I mean, like mostly what we were looking for initially is if she was there for this, right. And they have pictures. I mean, you know, would we be able to spot her in those pictures? Did anybody see her at those events? And if they didn't, that will help to close at least one of the questions.
They're desperately trying to piece together and figure out what happened to her. And since the influencers are strongly implying and people are pointing fingers at Zeus, you think they at least respond to shut down the rumors and speculation. But instead, their silence are fueling the theories. Do y'all think that Zeus should speak up at this point, or do their silence answers everything?
To Tzatziki on Instagram, just asking her if she knew anything, only because Reyna had mentioned that she had been on her streams before, like, you know, the little live spaces that my sister used to host on Twitter. But I never got a response. Like, nobody from the network or even anything to do with Baddies has reached out to us at all, which I thought was very odd. Not even just to say our condolences for what happened.
Her dad situation.
While you're here, make sure to check out this video on Aaron. He's talking about people where Zeus has been following him. If the video is not there, make sure to subscribe with notification because it is going to be uploaded soon.